Sawadee Cup, I'm JP Mestanza. Today is Wednesday, May 18th. Welcome to Phuket Extra, brought to you by PBCPhuket.com. A fatal fall from the 11th floor of a hotel in Patong is the reason a 21-year-old Australian man has died as police investigate what happened. Reports say that the man had been staying alone in his room on the 11th floor of the Royal Paradise Resort Hotel and Spa in Patong when a security guard found his lifeless body on the ground, face up, on a footpath below his room at the back of the hotel at about 10 p.m. on Monday night. The man had arrived with a group of 11 friends to Phuket back on May 14th, and they were set to return to Australia on May 28th. Police right now say that alcohol likely contributed to his fall and death, as they found an open bottle of Thai whiskey on the table, but they are still investigating. The man's father is now on his way to Phuket to collect the body and return to Australia. For more, visit thephuket.news.com. There's a campaign taking place for a constitutional amendment that would likely eliminate the position of Kamnan and Puyaban, the tambon chief and the village head respectively, and none of the people in those positions nationwide want this to happen. The progressive movement is currently seeking to collect 100,000 signatures by the end of June to put in motion an amendment of Chapter 14 of the Constitution related to provincial administration, namely to get rid of Kamnans or tambon chiefs and Puyaibans, village heads, as they say that the position is unnecessary, outdated, and would allow for more decentralization of government if they were let go. However, the Kamnan and Village Chiefs Association of Thailand, they say the idea is radical, divisive, and reflects a lack of understanding about the public administration. The Kamnans and Puyaibans' main tasks were to implement the policies of the higher administrative levels, and some MPs say this has been highlighted during the pandemic, when many local areas were actively engaged in containing the outbreak, setting up screening checkpoints and more. But there have been many online who say that these positions have been used as a political tool for those in power and hold sway in elections by telling people how to vote. Others say that the roles of Kamnans and Puyaibans have now overlapped with those from the local administration organizations. For more, visit the link in the description. New charging stations for electric vehicles are being set up at department stores nationwide as PTT Oil and Retail, which owns petrol stations and shopping malls around Thailand, looks to expand its EV infrastructure. At the moment, PTT has set up about 106 charging outlets nationwide, and they plan to expand this number to 450 charging stations by year's end. By 2030, PTT hopes to set up 7,000 charging stations at locations across the country. This past February, the cabinet in Bangkok approved a raft of measures and incentives to spur more consumer spending on electric vehicles in Thailand within the next 2 years, which included tax cuts and even subsidies that range from 70,000 baht to 150,000 baht, depending on the type and model of vehicles. There will also be lower excise taxes and import duties on completely knocked down and completely built up units. The package is in line with a zero-emission vehicle policy, plus a goal to ensure 30% of Thailand's total auto production are EVs by 2030. According to Thailand's EV roadmap, the National EV Policy Committee has set a target to have 12,000 DC quick chargers in 2030 and 36,500 in 2035. For more, visit the link in the description. Thailand is proposing a regional COVID-19 vaccine certificate as a means to facilitate travel between ASEAN countries. The idea was proposed by Thailand's Public Health Minister Anutin Chanvirakul during a panel discussion at the Changi Aviation Summit 2022 in Singapore on Tuesday, which included leaders from ASEAN member countries. Anutin proposed that ASEAN country members should adopt a standardized COVID-19 vaccine certificate. He said he believes that if it was widely adopted enough, it would contribute to efforts to rejuvenate the aviation sector. Meanwhile, the Tourism Authority of Thailand, the TAT, they plan to spur 80 million domestic trips in the first half of this year as the downward trend in new COVID infections helps rebuild local travel sentiment. According to the Tourism and Sports Ministry, local tourists made 28.8 million trips during the first quarter, down 67.5% year on year, with tourism revenue plunging 63.8% to 145 billion baht. For more, visit thephuket.news.com. Thanks for joining us here on this Wednesday edition of Phuket Extra, brought to you by pvcphuket.com. Join us again tomorrow on Thursday. Until then, stay classy, Phuket.
Phuket's rapid modernization has made it one of the world's premier holiday destinations. Investors can still buy quality condominiums for as low as $75,000 and luxury properties can go all the way up to 20 million. Condominiums in Phuket are a safe, secure bricks-and-mortar investment offering foreigners freehold ownership. Call or email Thai Residential, Phuket's #1 trusted real estate advisor, to find your perfect Phuket property.